What can we do? What should we do for an intro?
We don't usually have an intro. Do we? You start talking, I say like something stupid, and then you yell, "That's the intro!"
That's the intro. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Clickheads. This week's episode is brought to you by us, and of course, Click Gaming. It's me, Barretel. His name, call me Sulpan. I'm gonna call him Sulpan. We're here to talk about some things going on in the esports world, some things going on in the video game world, but more importantly, we're here to talk. More importantly, and on top of that, I think it's time we start our chapter that we've been dreaming of, pasta. Did you know they made a new noodle?
No, they didn't.
Yeah, it's like
you can't invent noodles. You just have like noodle material and you shape it in whatever shape you want.
It's called cascatelli. You should look it up sometime. Well, I can actually
like a barrel.
Hold on, I can find this.
Production, pull up a cascatelli, please.
I'm pulling it up. I'll find you the link. I'm a research man. They've described it as a trough, and I happen to agree to some extent. It does look very trough-like in nature, as a noodle would. Let's do this.
Like a long celery stick?
No, better.
More better.
All right, I got the image.
Is you plan to reflect it in your glasses at me?
I'm trying to look at it intently for you. I can put a file in here. I'll just maximize this image and then we'll just share the screen, right? That could work. We're using a new program, guys. This is all super cool. This is the cascatelli noodle, by the way. Production, pull it up.
Oh,
look at this bad boy. Nice. It's got the ridges.
Wait, those have been around for a while.
And the trough in the middle. This is like a year old.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but that in the grand scheme, noodles have been around forever. And so something a year old is baby. This is the baby noodle. Welcome to Clickheads, where we talk about pasta and other things. We got some important things to talk about. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, somehow Riot continues to make it to the top of the docket. Valorant Champions, it's going on. And it's pretty much all we've been talking about. At least me, myself, and I. The group stages have ended. The playoffs are starting. And unfortunately, North America continues to struggle at international events. We only have Cloud9 yet again to count on to carry us into hopefully some victory. But as it stands right now, the quarterfinals are Ascend versus Team Secret, Team Liquid versus Cloud9 Blue, a very interesting matchup. And again, Cloud9 being the only North American representative here. Gambit Esports and 10x Crit, Fnatic and Crew Esports, who was actually able to dethrone Sentinels. But now they're up against Fnatic, who actually also dethroned Sentinels. So whoever wins this is just a supremely better team. And then semis and grand finals. It's going to be super exciting. Have you had a chance to watch any Champions at all?
You know me, I'm not quite the Valorant guy, but I do have something I can jump in here on.
Yes.
I'm really starting to wonder if when is it going to be that North America is going to have the infrastructure comparable to another country that's starting an esport? When it was Korea, it's like they had how many years of brood war, coaching, staff, organization, compared to North America kind of jumping in pretty cold to like StarCraft 2 and mainstream esports with League of Legends. Europe never dropped the ball with tactical shooters. They've been playing CSGO nonstop since release, right? North America definitely fell off quite a bit. A lot of orgs ended up dropping their teams. And so I'm starting to get the feeling that a lot of these we're just seeing like the power and infrastructure. I know we had like the one run with Tenzi and the Sentinels, but man, that was a half a year ago now or something, right? It's going to be a while before I think we're going to see another North American, I don't know, dominance victory, deep run in the tournament. It's kind of just disappointing to see our international events always go so poor.
Yeah, and I think people often look towards North America's victory this year at an international event as like this bright, shining domination. But even that was a close game. I mean, it wasn't a matter of just rounds. It was like a matter of inches in terms of winning. So I don't know, maybe it got to them being so close. They got put into like a loser's elimination bracket, and then that could potentially get to you, especially when you go from winning and being the top dog to being the first one out, really. The first notable team out, I should say. But it is what it is. Interestingly enough, in a brief pit stop in terms of competition, we see your competitive queue behind you. You're there at the top of your team.
Yeah.
Looks like a pretty awesome roster. You got, of course, Ivy. No one knows who that is, whatever. And then you look at the other side and you see like three of like the biggest names in Overwatch.
Guru, Harblue, Galadale, Kefri. This guy plays for Boise State Esports.
And he's also very good. Yeah, but like 5 out of the 6 very notorious players. So
yeah, my first match back in Overwatch got streamed to like 15,000 people, and it was just me getting dumped on.
That's cool. I'm surrounded by barrels because that's what people. I'm Barretel, but for some reason people don't realize that there's a T there. Just call me Barrel. Decided to roll with it like a barrel would,
as you do.
Speaking of Riot and kind of rolling with the punches, Riot's been accused of buffing champions to sell more skins. They addressed the confrontation by denying, of course, but here is a quote from Froxon. Revenue is not even remotely a consideration for people making gameplay changes, and I've been on the team since season 4, including a live gameplay era. Sometimes skins come out, and I didn't even know they were in development, so I wouldn't agree that this with this take at all. He replied, "Lux, that's all I'm gonna say. Where's the skins for frickin' I don't know Yorick? Where's a new Trundle skin? Where's a new Urgot skin?" Who's got the least amount of skins? TK?
I used to know this. I used to like have this memorized, but I think it's changed. People actually, there's like a spreadsheet that tracks the number of days since a new champion has had a new skin.
Yeesh.
And like at some point it was like 1,000 days before like Skarner and Yorick got their skins again.
Yeah, Skarner hasn't had a new skin in forever.
Yeah, I think he might still be going. But I don't know. I mean, it's a separate discussion from whether or not they're buffing champions around those skin releases. I want to give them the benefit of the doubt no matter what and say like, oh, really? Like I genuinely really hope they're just not doing that, because obviously it really, really sucks if they are making balanced decisions based on monetary value that the champion can provide.
Right.
They really I think that this has been in a discussion for like, I don't know, probably like since season 1, honestly, because I think what happens, this is my personal headcanon. The design team is talking about a skin a lot, and then all the balance team is like overhearing them talking about this champion. They're like,
right,
I wonder what their numbers are like, and they go like look up the champion. They're like, oh my god, they're in a horrible state, we should probably fix that. And then they just kind of like fix it. I'm not sure if it's necessarily that they're intentionally doing it because they just want more money off the skin, or if it's just like because they're working on a skin, more spotlights put on that champion. They're like, we should probably do something about that. Like, because you can look back and there's historical cases where they're nerfing champions before skin releases too.
Yeah, and sometimes they're a little tricky about it too, because they don't often ever release just one skin anymore. It's like a group of skins or like a series of skins, and there's like champions that are not super powerful within that group, and then there's like very much clear runners in there as well. Like you have right before Tom Kench's big change, that Arcanist set coming out for him, for Xerath, maybe Twisted Fate,
I think he was in
and then
list, yeah.
And then Lucian. With Lucian and Tom Kench at that time, Lucian was just settling down in popularity after the whole Nami weird Ardent Blaze changes, and then TK was about to become this new champion with his redesign. So I think there's a little bit of inspiration of that. They want to like hype the skin as much as possible. And what better time to do that when you rework like the kit of a champion a little bit? I wonder if they'll ever release a new skin for Udyr, especially like with his rework.
There's like a big point about that where they usually don't, if they are actively working on the VGU, and because they're actively working on Udyr's VGU, they're not releasing. They might get you might get a skin on VGU release for him, but they're also basically
like
doing
the
all
1,000-year Volibear or something.
They're already redoing all the skins for him. And so why would they add another one that they're going to have to redo already
Yeah,
and
that's
like bug
true.
test all that? So it just doesn't make sense for development.
Oh well, who cares?
Oh, well.
Skins equal wins. They know that. There are
That
some
much is
skins
true.
that are busted.
I just played against one. There was a Nasus that had the Shiba Inu that pilots him
Yeah.
in the head, and the effects on the ground they look wildly different from the base skin. And so it's like I just like walked over it 3 times, not realizing that there was a death zone.
I'm dying.
Yeah,
Just
weird.
stings. Speaking of things that look really good, Arcane.
Arcane, dude.
Yeah.
Three topics out of the gate for Riot, but you know what? I think they deserve it.
We're not done yet. We got so much more. They're doing things right. They really are. And I mean, as much as we're not surprised that Riot's art department is able to produce something that sick, in addition to their compositions, their music team is, I think, unmatched when it comes to a gaming company. Arcane was really good by a lot of people's standards, and not even fans of League of Legends.
Yeah, a bunch of my friends who just hate League of Legends, or like I know they see all the jokes about how horrible and toxic it is.
Yeah,
heard how good the show was, went ahead and watched it, and are like deeply in love with the universe, and like are considering playing League of Legends, but are more probably like going to go towards Runeterra or something like that to get like the little pieces of the lore.
Yeah,
and kind of like see the characters in action and stuff. But
yeah, do that. Don't play League. Save yourself.
No. Play League of Legends. Don't listen to him. Everyone gets to play League.
It's as much as I hope that the community would take this as a moment to like pick up the bastion and lead people to like the promised land. They're worse. They're worse than ever. I jungled a rank game the other day. This guy decided to try and fight Yone as Teemo, like levels 1 through 3. Got triple killed pretty much. Yone's 3-0, and he just ran it down mid the rest of the game. I'm like, if you have that
happens sometimes. That happens sometimes. Playing 5 stacks, it's more fun.
If you have that weak of a mentality, you shouldn't play online games in general. But that's neither here nor there. There is other outlets though. If you want to be immersed in the story, the lore a bit, and enjoy the characters more, I recommend playing Rune King. I think
that also. I forgot about all the new games they came out with.
Yeah, super fun game. I've enjoyed it a lot. It's a turn-based kind of combat, story-based game. Very fun. There's a lot of synergies with the champions that you get throughout it, and you're exploring. The ocean, going through Bilgewater and its misfortunes rise to power, and then Viego's initial assault on Bilgewater. So it's a really cool storyline. A lot of champions that you haven't seen from the likes of like Arcane, but a lot of really good characters in there based off of the roster available. And then if you're a fan of Heimerdinger, well, he's got a wacky and zany sidekick in the League of Legends rhythm game. I forget what it's called though. It's the one with Heimerdinger and Ziggs.
They just released it. It's like a rhythm game, right?
It is. It's a rhythm game similar to what is the name of that game?
Crypto the Necrodancer?
Kind of like Crypto the Necrodancer. It's more like Muse Dash, if you've ever played it.
I have not. But okay. I'm pulling up the name of the game. It was Hextech Mayhem.
Hextech Mayhem. I've heard it's very addicting. The music's really good in there too. No surprise. Very simplistic gameplay, like to understand. But as you get higher in like the levels and whatnot, very difficult to master, which is always fun. And then lastly, we'll top off this with possibly my most anticipated project that we've heard of a little bit. Didn't hear it went dark for a long time, and they recently just said, "Hey, here's some gameplay." By the way, of the Project L that they've been working on, the Riot fighting game. Oh man, I'm in. I'm already sold.
I'll be honest. I saw a clip of a recent fighting game tournament, and like the players popped up on stage. I thought they were playing Project L on the screen because like the style looks similar, where it was kind of like choppy and 2D, 3D.
Right.
But it's also like off of someone's phone camera. So I thought it had been released, and then I got really excited and then really disappointed when I realized it wasn't actually out. But either way, yeah, it looked really interesting. I don't know enough about fighting games to really say like anything about the mechanics of it. But
Right.
all the success of these other games that they've been releasing, I'd be surprised if it's going to be a disappointment.
Yeah, I think based off the interview that I watched, they were stating how like to play a character fundamentally will be really easy, or it'll be fairly easy to grasp a character and their kit and what they want to do, but the skill ceiling for all these characters will be extremely high. You have Darius with like the full combos, got the Noxian Guillotine, the Apprehend, all these things that are very Darius like, very muscly and brawn and kind of confrontational. And then there's Echo. You can play Echo. He's got his same mobility. He's throwing out the Time Winder. But more importantly, throughout the course of the round, you're laying still that clone, that shadow, that if your initial combo fails, you can rewind to and try to do a different combo forward to mix it up, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, I mean, like they're bringing the league mechanics and staying true to the champions' identities within a fighting game. And the real question is, will Riven still be able to animation cancel?
Maybe. If I can body someone with Annie, though, I'm 100% in. Or Fiddlesticks. Those are going to be my mains if they're available. But regardless, a little bit, maybe too much emphasis on the Riot knowledge. When they do something so cool back to back, well, we have to talk about it. There's no getting around it. I do want to take a quick pit stop here while we're in mobile land, and mention that Smite. I know not a game a lot of people talk about because dead game. They released a new god, and it's actually Titan, which is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Remind me who Titan is.
Titan's the guy that Zeus had commanded to carry the weight of the world on his back.
That's right. I thought that was Atlas.
Wait, yes, it is.
Atlas is one of the boulder. Maybe I'm mixing everything up. I'm terrible.
Maybe I'm wrong. His name is Titan, or it's Atlas the Titan. He's a Titan. Okay.
He's a hero in Smite.
He's a hero in Smite. Super cool. If you like the game, check it out. He's a support character. He's managed to shrink the weight of the world down into a very manageable orb, and he beats the crap out of you with it, which is sick.
Fun.
Maybe we should save this topic for a little bit later, but have you heard about, I don't know if you heard about this game called Halo?
Yeah, I'm familiar. I've been playing it. It's pretty much the best shooter I think to release so far.
Yeah, Halo Infinite. I mean, if I want to reserve Halo Infinite for like a special place, it's got the nostalgic value. The gameplay is innovative enough to feel like it's got a new feel to it. To me, it's blowing Battlefield out of the water. What I will say, though, is whether or not it has like the community backing, the competitive backing to make it an esport, that's the real question. Because right now, Call of Duty's got the foothold on that, and it's not going to let go anytime soon. In fact, we have so much to talk about. The COD Challengers is here.
So I'm glad you brought up Call of Duty. COD Challengers is here, but the community isn't happy about it.
Oh, okay.
I need to look it up and confirm, but they're still not sure what the competitive third game mode is going to be. Hard points for sure. Search and destroy is for sure. But I think the players aren't enjoying control, or it doesn't feel balanced right now. And so they're talking about going back to domination, which was hated in Modern Warfare. People would handshake in tournaments and say, we're not going to play domination. We're just going to play a second hardpoint instead, which is terrible optics for your competitive league, right? If everyone hates watching domination, playing domination, and then like when your amateur scene like hates the game mode that much, I mean, it's like old 2CP and Overwatch. People would so much rather just skip out on that game mode. They hated watching it. They hated playing it. I think domination would be like a great analogy to that. On top of that, in the competitive COD Challengers, the Kansas City Pioneers, one of like the last major brands. I don't know if I can say that. They were a major brand that pulled out of COD Challengers. So like that's one more team that's just no longer funding that area. They were a reasonably well-sized org. They're not taking championships out of the world anywhere or anything, but they are in a lot of different esports and they have a lot of backing. And so it's really disappointing to see them pull out of that because they just didn't feel supported inside of the COD Challengers scene. Right.
Do you think they'll have it figured out by like, the first cup?
It's a big question mark right now. I don't think anyone in the Call of Duty community really knows, and that's what's terrifying about it. That's why everyone's like, you always see like, I don't know how much you follow Call of Duty Twitter, but everyone's like, I'm switching to Halo, I'm done with this, and everyone's like super mad about it. So we'll see. I think Halo has a chance right here to usurp COD as like the arena shooter and like the quick pace and fast pace shooter, because they're investing everything correctly into the scene. They've got a very clear roadmap. They're allowing amateur teams into these tournaments to play and compete with the pros, which is always really exciting.
Right.
It just really does feel like they're doing everything right. The co-streaming, literally the only thing they have wrong, the one thing they aren't doing right is cosmetics. And like long-term Halo players will tell you about that. Maybe you can tell me about it because I'm only jumping into Halo 5. But I think that's like if the biggest complaint in the game is cosmetics, that feels so much more fixable than gameplay issues, core gameplay issues.
I think the main gripe is that they're like not individual enough. There's not like a lot of identity to what you're wearing. Although upon release, they had that samurai set, which I thought was sick. It was very reminiscent of like the old school Hayabusa set.
The problem with that also was that like you had to play in this event to do these challenges so that you could unlock the samurai gear, and you could only unlock 7 of them. And then you have to wait until that event comes back to continue down the samurai battle pass.
That's cool. I mean, from like limited from like a game designer standpoint, that kind of makes sense, but at the same time, it
sucks for everyone who like really wanted to grind through and unlock all the samurai stuff because they want to be able to have more customization, right? The customization like, just in general feels very limited. And people are also talking about how the campaign doesn't actually bring additional cosmetics to the game. There's very little you can bring from the campaign to multiplayer.
That's an interesting argument. I mean, I'm almost okay with that to some extent, right?
I don't care. I'm here to shoot people. I don't
you
care
have your PvE accolades and your PvP accolades, and they're different. You know, they should have minimal interaction. But then again, I guess you're still showing off that you're able to accomplish something. I think maybe if it's anything, it's not like I beat the game, so I got this armor piece. It's like I did this crazy thing that's super hard to do in the campaign. Therefore, I get this, for lack of better terms, unisex armor piece that I can use in both game modes. At that point, it's like, this is something that I'm proud to show off on. I think so often and more often than not, people have gotten used to like the battle passes that just give you a bunch of free shit, like from Fortnite and stuff. And you're like, oh, I got cosmetics for playing the game. And like, there's no BRs in itself kind of incentivize just playing on repeat without little, thought process or consequence. You just play
again.
Yeah. Just queue up again. I think that Halo's always been a game that has like the most coveted items be locked behind stuff. There was, I think in Halo 2, starting forward on the online scene, there was the Recon Challenge. It was like a Bungie initiated challenge, and it has to be like there's a lot of checks and balances to make sure you're legitimately doing the challenge, and only the people that can do this crazy hard challenge get Recon, which is a really coveted armor set. So I think stuff like that's important because it will it'll make a big difference. I don't think you take away armor from people just achieving things like climbing to gold or wherever the case may be. Give those kind of things some subtle nods with unique armor pieces or effects. But the really cool stuff, I think, should be locked behind either personal achievement, team achievement, whatever the case may be. Like if you run over 100 people in a season or something. No, that's like way too easy. 100. There's got to be something crazy. Run over X amount of people. It's more commonly referred to as a bull true, right? You just run people over all the time. You get a bullhead with freaking horns on it. That would be sick. I'd be down for that.
Yeah, I think that's the problem, is that those challenges aren't there. The challenges they have now are like, kill this guy with an energy sword in the fancy samurai mode. Kill this guy with a shotgun in the fancy samurai mode. And it's not do so many different things. Do like this thing in an exact order, get a 360 no scope off the top of the map while grappling, and you have to use a repulsor midair somehow.
Right.
Like that kind of thing.
Bungie, hire me. I got ideas.
Hire Barretel. He's got some ideas.
I got plenty of ideas. I guess COD never has been criticized either way for having too many or too little skins, at least as we go on now, right?
No, but they did just put perks like perks in game behind the battle
packs.
pass. They're in the battle pass now. You have to play the battle pass to unlock perks, and I don't know. I need to look into this stuff more. They might not allow you to actually get them if you don't get them during the battle pass during that season.
Weird. Once you get them, you have them unlocked the whole time.
Yeah, people are calling it like the wall hack behind the battle pass, because I think the perk is that might be everyone's most upset about is like one that allows you to like your vision will shimmer when there's someone nearby you, even if they're near through a wall. And like they've had stuff like this before, where if someone's aiming at you, you get like effects on your screen. So it doesn't feel that far off. I'm sure they're not going to give you a literal wall hack to look through the guy. Or
that's like pay to win stuff.
Yeah, but it does kind of feel like that, right? If it's locked behind a paid battle pass, you have to play so many games. You had to get the Call of Duty at the beginning of the year so you could unlock these perks. It feels like they're locking gameplay, core gameplay behind a paywall, and that kind of sucks. Like behind a paywall that you already paid for.
Damn, that kind of makes me feel icky a little bit. Yeah,
yeah.
Not gonna lie, that's an icky kind of thing. Well, let's stop talking about it then.
let's be less down. Sure.
eFuse reveals its board of advisors. The new board will include industry veterans such as MLG pioneers Adam Apicula and Sundance Giovanni, as well as Juwon Lee, Kevin Lopez, and Nicole Pike. The new advisors will cover all fields of eFuse's work: talent management, partnership development, events, growth, and analytics. That's cool.
I'll be honest. When I first saw eFuse, I was really skeptical of it.
Yeah,
and I think I still kind of am a little bit to this day.
Mm-hmm.
You log in, and it just feels like influencer heaven.
Sure,
it's like post all your accolades, post a bunch of content. It feels like the gaming version of those LinkedIn posts that are like, I had this candidate come in today who didn't have a shirt or any shoes, and I hired him on the spot because he said this. It like feels like that. Like people like just kind of like massive self-patty or self-pats on the back all the time. I really hate that aspect of gaming culture, and it's especially prevalent in collegiate esports.
Sure.
So I was really skeptical of it, but they're investing a lot into the local scene. They're doing. We mentioned like recently that they bought the Call of Duty League for collegiate.
Right.
The CCL, Collegiate Call of Duty League. This, I think, is a step in the right direction. The question is, how much are they going to change from Call of Duty League with this board of advisors? What else are they trying to move into? What other spaces are they trying to jump into? And I really hope they don't bring that part of their culture with them, because that stuff is just, I think that's more icky than any kind of money grubby battle pass stuff.
Yeah. Oh, they don't need more platforms. Let them have their one platform, and that's it.
Yeah.
Interesting news. Don't know if you heard about this, but Cloud9 partnered officially with the Smurfs.
I really should know this stuff because I'm contracted to Cloud9, but I actually don't know who the Smurfs are or that this even
Smurfs? Not a team like the old TV show. The little blue people.
Oh, you mean like the literal
Smurfs?
I assumed it was like an esports org that was just grabbing the name.
No,
this is
the
like
Smurfs.
They just partnered with the Smurfs.
Yeah, they have Smurfs on a lot of their merch now.
I kind of love that, actually.
It's kind of like tagline is literally smurfing.
So they literally partnered with the Smurfs so they could make the smurfing joke, right? It's kind of like Team Liquid doing the Naruto stuff, like the exact same style of brand deal. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, it's like it looks cool. I mean, their merch has always been pretty fresh. If you're a fan of blue.
I'm a fan of blue.
You have to be. You're paid to. I think that's black, isn't it? I'm colorblind, so
this is technically blue. It's like a very deep navy blue.
You're wearing two shirts.
This is a sweatshirt.
What's underneath it? Or is that just the collar reinforced?
It's just like a nice comfy gray t-shirt.
Oh, okay.
This thing's way too breathable. So like in the winter, I have to wear something underneath this, or else it's just like the cold piercing wind just coming right through the waffle knit.
You can't help it. It is what it is. Luckily, I have so much protection, both hair and fat.
I'm envious in these months. I am freezing every single day.
Oh yeah, it's great. I can walk outside, just be fine. It snowed yesterday. You see that?
Yeah, that was gross.
was
Speaking of
awesome.
freezing,
Yeah.
this isn't quite League of Legends related, but
Uh-oh.
New Meta Entertainment, the parent company of North American organization Dignitas, has launched
Mhm.
Radiant GG, a women's gaming and esports media platform. Not to be confused with Radiance.gg, the esports organization that High founded a long time ago, and maybe not isn't he, maybe he might not even be a part of anymore.
I don't think he is anymore.
Really?
Maybe not. I don't know.
I know they still exist. No one. I stole their logo for a school project a long time ago. It wasn't a published project. It was like okay to steal logos for, but I like needed a logo for like a fake realty company. This is way off topic. Anyways,
I want to mention Dignitas's all-female teams, especially their Counter-Strike team, is actually kind of nasty with it. I think they're actually pretty good.
I don't follow the women's Counter-Strike scene, but I follow a few people who are involved in the women's scene for Valorant. I know that space is generally dominated by Cloud9's team. How does Dignitas do in that game, or do they
I don't know if that. I've never seen. I have to look into it. I've only watched a lot of their all-female teams pop off on Counter-Strike, which is, we've seen how things have gone so far. I guess in just any sense, majors, LAN events, shooters for some reason bring out the animal in people when good things happen or when bad things go wrong.
Yeah.
So that's no different. You imagine just getting screamed at by anybody seems like a very uncomfortable situation,
it's actually the biggest reason that colleges won't pick up Call of Duty is because of the lack of or the unwelcoming environment that generally surrounds Call of Duty. Because colleges are all about what?
Like for inclusivity?
Yeah, because I mean, imagine being a woman at an event, at the LAN that we were just at, getting screamed at over a computer by someone else.
Yeah, but can you imagine how vindicated she would feel if she popped off and just bodied
good,
people?
But people yell at them that they're gonna meet them out in the parking lot and beat the shit out of them. Sorry.
I mean, those are words directly taken from multiple players. So.
Yeah, I mean, that part of Call of Duty needs to change. I think that's part of why eFuse is changing up their board of directors and advisors so that they can try and navigate the Call of Duty culture in that direction, at least in the collegiate scene. Because colleges will, again, not take Call of Duty on if they feel like the scene is toxic like that.
Right. I think that when it comes to sanctioned events, we just had one at Boise State, which was part of more so than anything, an opportunity to give back to the community. I don't know if you're familiar with the giving games, but a lot of local businesses, ICCU, a lot. ICCU ended up taking the cake, so that's the only reason they're notable in my book. They're also cracked at the game, but the main goal was to kind of spread awareness and kind of make sure that people that were less fortunate felt appreciated. They ended up raising $8,000 for the Idaho Food Bank. Awesome. So that kind of stuff was really cool. Granted, I don't think there were any women playing, so it's maybe still that same motif. Call of Duty, as much as communication's a key part of the game, that's what Discord's for. Just talk to your teammates. Don't go into a live lobby. People are just bad. People are bad people, and more so than that, they're also bad at the game. Because if they were good, they wouldn't be playing in regular lobbies, You
also have to wonder, what is it about Valorant and Overwatch that is able to attract so many female players compared to a game like Call of Duty? And I think organizations like Radiance can maybe start helping that.
Sure.
But I'll never understand what exactly.
I think for the longest time, wasn't Call of Duty, especially from the protagonist side of the game, all men? And then you have in both Overwatch and Valorant these female protagonists that are incredibly powerful, and that's empowering in and of itself. And then you get to play those characters and wipe the floor with people with them. Maybe that's the case.
That's gotta feel good. I don't know. Yeah. But then League of Legends should be popular among women. But I think Valorant and Overwatch still lead in numbers in that.
In
League just sucks.
Diversity. League is just a bad game.
How dare you?
So it's the same old story, the same old song and dance, right? People, for some reason, treat every game like they're next on the docket to be part of a world championship. And like to some extent, I can agree with them. If you spend like 8 hours a day on a game, you should anticipate to be okay at it. Like you shouldn't, I don't know. I think that with that mentality of I play this game so much, I shouldn't lose, yada, yada, yada. What's wrong with the environment around me? Nothing. It's like a you problem. People are not very eager to take personal responsibility. And I think that's why when Fortnite and other battle royales first came out, that's why they just skyrocketed in terms of popularity. Oh, I just didn't get any good gun drops. Oh, this guy managed to get the great bullet spread, or yada yada yada. It doesn't matter. I don't have to contemplate it much more than that because I'm already in queue for another game and I'm already dropping into my next hotspot. So it's a longevity thing. I don't want to get into like the psychology of why being yelled at all the time is good and bad for people. But there's definitely a stark difference with how men and women are wired. And I think that also contributes to it. I think that in victories and defeats, both men and women need to be treated differently based off of what you're experiencing in order to nurture the safest environment. Or if you're just bad at the game, you should just like take personal responsibility. Like for me, for instance, if I get invited to play a shooter game, I just straight up say I'm garbage. Don't anticipate anything cool to happen. If it does, it's a fluke, and that sets the precedent for the rest of the game. I'm okay with that because I still have fun running around, shooting things, trying to out like chess match my opponent. But at the end of the day, I'm not good, and that's okay with me. I'm good at other stuff. So it's like, as much as it is about like playing a video game for fun, that's like not really the goal anymore for a lot of people for some reason, which is interesting. Yeah, video games aren't for fun anymore, people. Winning's the only way to have fun is what a lot of people feel. And if that's your prerogative, so be it. But at the same time, if your desire and your prerogative is to win, then you have to be able to accept the loss and you have to be able to look towards what caused it from like a full perspective, not just like, what did everyone else do wrong to me? What did I do wrong to everyone else?
You're making really good points, but I could also just blame lag.
I'm also lagging. But at LAN events, that's not a thing, right?
It was bad connection. It was
my wire was looser than his.
I got hosted, dude. It was just
there was a sunbeam that's just shined in my eye.
Dude, Johnny hooked me up with a bad stereo headset. I couldn't talk.
Johnny's flip flop made a sound, and I thought it was someone behind me, and I turned and I died.
I turned in real life.
People just get really up in arms about it, and like, I mean, if you're within such a small margin for losing or winning and X, Y, or Z happens and you think that's the reason you lost, come on, let's be reasonable. I lost because there was a female there. Nah, bud. You lost because you're bad and you need to practice. That's not my I'll let you finish, by the way. That's just general healthy knowledge.
One more thing to get through, I think.
If you feel like you're getting to a point where a video game is emotionally affecting you, go touch some grass. Go outside. Go touch some grass. Go touch it. It's okay. Come back to the game. It'll still be here. Probably still make you mad. But then when you accomplish that, whenever you overcome that objective or that goal or that difficulty, that obstruction, it'll feel good. And you can move on. Whew, that is Barretel therapy for the evening, I guess. Shoot.
Thanks, Barretel.
Yeah, no problem. There's also one more bit of information here. Alpha Esports Gamers Arena partners with Rugby League. We've talked about how like the soccer, football were able to put their emphasis on franchising. We talked about some basketball teams do the same thing. Well, now rugby's being a part of it. The brand will become the exclusive online gaming platform for NARL, North American Rugby League, Rocket League. I don't know actually. Which one would it be?
We've got no idea. We're a mess on the desk.
What's happening?
It's the Rugby League, which was
that's cool.
Because
never played it.
Like esports getting involved in like the physical sports world, I think. Rather than the other way around, which is usually physical sports partnering with esports organizations to like promote healthy movement and physical productivity for esports athletes. It's the other way around this time. Get the rugby players in on that mental game.
Get them with the strategic chess match stuff. Yeah, because you can only run two refrigerators can only like clash into each other so often before you realize that this isn't working anymore, right?
I mean, people talk about that. The strain of esports versus regular sports is that you can, like you said, you can only clash the refrigerators for so long before the refrigerators get tired.
Yeah.
But you can sit in front of a computer screen and play League of Legends for 16 hours a day and be mostly fine, mentally a little bit off or worse for the wear. Maybe your wrist hurts a little bit, but you're mostly fine. You can technically do that. And so the amount of time you can spend practicing one thing becomes so much higher. So in theory, the skill ceiling for esports will be higher than that of any professional league. That's a physical sport because they just simply can't practice as much as a League of Legends player can.
Right. Do you think on a if we were to take high-end, top-paid professional esports player versus a professional athlete, like from a physical sport, who would be more humble?
Oh my God. I mean, I think it all just depends on personality. You're talking generally?
Like generally.
I want to say that athletes are generally less egotistical than an esports player.
Right.
There are some egos
there's exertion
outside the professional scene that don't deserve those egos.
Yes. Very true.
They have not earned that ego at all.
What causes you to earn an ego though? Because isn't I feel
Doublelift earned his ego. Doublelift earned his ego. He's got the skill to back that up. He's got the trophies to back it up. He can say like he can legitimately say that he was the best AD carry in North America. But you get like people who've like placed top 16 in a LAN and are like claiming to be the best shooter ever.
Yeah.
It's like
it's not so much.
So what happened then? Why'd you lose?
Top 16? You didn't go to top 8 even? You didn't even get to
at a local? Yeah, this isn't even like a national stage. Like what are you talking about?
You're in a Pizza Hut, bro. Come on. It's nothing.
Next week getting land at Pizza Hut. You heard it here first. That's
I'm in
2022.
Although no shots fired towards Pizza Hut, but your guys' basic crust needs some help.
That's false.
It's bad. It's greasy. Let Sulpan eat it all up. It's your stuffed crust. Oh my Lord. That stuffed crust though? But man, your regular crust needs it's in dire need of some help. Somebody save it.
Barretel, I'm gonna let you finish.
Yes. Yeah.
And you know what? I've decided I was between two topics today. We've had enough negativity.
Cool.
Yeah, something positive. Okay. Kartrider Drift closed beta is here, and I just got the email that I'm in like less than an hour ago.
What is
it? Starts tomorrow. Kartrider Drift is a free-to-play game on PC, Xbox, PlayStation, Steam,
Switch?
And Nexon launcher.
Okay.
And maybe the same people who made MapleStory, I think. I can't remember what else Nexon makes. But it's a Mario Kart clone that is going to be cross-platform and free-to-play.
Whoa.
And I am very excited about that because I love party games that I can play with online friends.
Yeah.
It's like Jackbox. Among Us, Duck Duck Goose, like all those like stupid free to play party games that you can get anyone, even with like a toaster to play with you. This is gonna be another one of those games, and so I'm really excited for something like that.
That's awesome.
That's all I got. Check it out. Kartrider Drift by Nexon. It's on Steam. Sign up for the closed beta if you haven't already. It's gonna be a blast. I hope. Please be a good game. I want to play Mario Kart with friends. That's not locked behind a $350 paywall on the Nintendo Switch. That's all.
Yeah, with bad net code.
With bad net code.
I'm gonna let you finish, Sulpan. I'm not going the happy route. I got something on my mind, something on my chest I gotta let off. I recently had to kill off one of my player characters in Dungeons and Dragons as a DM. One of my favorite archetypes, the kind of brave but brass but also stupid as hell barbarian. I had to take him down. I had to take him out.
You hate to see it.
And it feels, because the way it was illustrated, the way it, without going into too much detail, the way it happened was beautiful. A moving masterpiece, I should say. And it really everyone was having a great time. It was middle of combat. Things were going swell for everybody. Everyone was laughing, goofing around. The moment everyone, new player and old player alike, realized what was happening, somber, sad.
Ooh.
Yeah. So as like from a storyteller perspective, it was electrifying. But like coming from a player perspective, that feeling sucks.
Yeah.
Like you kind of lose a part of yourself in it.
Yeah, it really, really sucks whatever happens. But I think the best DMs know when it's a good idea to kill off someone's character.
Mm-hmm.
And it is absolutely okay, and you should do it.
Yeah, you really should not be afraid to.
Just time it well, make it have impact in the story. Don't let that character be like just a throwaway death, like an NPC or something, and you will have such an effect on your party. It is amazing.
It's like it unified them. I know it did, and that was the whole goal.
It's amazing what like a bunch of a huge made up narrative, the effect it can have on people. It's just really interesting.
D&D is super cathartic. It's super therapeutic for a lot of people. You're able to act out so many things that you might not feel comfortable doing so in a normal environment. And beyond that, you may be currently struggling with something, and if your dungeon master knows you, they'll use that to the storytelling's advantage. I won't tell you who the character belongs to, but they've been going through pretty rough stuff in life, and it was less of a story of like taking them down or kicking them while they're down, more of them sacrificing everything to protect the people that they care about, and at the end of the day, they're going to be reborn from the ashes. They essentially have like a steward, similar to like a son, if you will, and that kind of leadership, that kind of fatherhood, if you will, kind of looking after one that looks up to you. That's a tough thing to do for anybody, especially when you feel like you're doing it alone. But it was a send off that said, you're doing right by the people that are looking after you or looking up to you and the people that you're looking after. So don't worry about it.
Nice.
Yeah, cool.
The best part about this is D&D being mainstream enough that people won't make fun of us in the comments for it.
I'm going to be made fun of regardless. I got a bunch of barrels behind me. So
oh, fair enough. I'm going to be made fun of for this. The clip's out there. You can find it.
Yeah, watch him just get hurt repetitively. It is what it is. What are you going to do? Well, I think that'll do it. Unless you got something else to throw in there.
That's all I got.
That's all you got for now.
D&D's
Cartwriter
cool.
Drift. D&D's cool. Cartwriter Drift. I might be blue shelling you if that exists.
God, I hope so.
I hope there's an item that gives you like long extended chicken legs. You can just run over other cars. I'd be okay with that. Next on,
hire Barretel.
Hire me. All right. Well, that'll do it for us tonight. I'm Jared Barretel Sulpan, and we're joined by Paul Sulpan, Vaughn, Finger Guns aplenty. Y'all have a good night. See you next time. Beep, beep, beep.